Hello, it's me, Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Busters. This is a video long in development, or not the video itself, but my ideas behind the video. I've been really wanting to make this video, but like every time I tried to get myself ready, something would happen and it just would fall apart. So without much ado, let's get into it. So this video is called Weaponized Nostalgia. How companies use your childhood against you. And in this video, I'm going to give 3 examples. One pop culture, the other 2 video games, of companies basically taking something that you love, something that you're nostalgic about, and royally fucking it up. Or in some cases, not fucking it up. So, without much ado, let's get into the video after the cut. So, nostalgia is, the common definition is that feeling, the good feelings that you basically associate with some type of childhood or past memory that makes you feel good, or makes you feel whimsical, or wistful. So basically the question is, how is your nostalgia weaponized? Well, here are 3 examples of your nostalgia being weaponized, and 2 of which, and I'm going to use one from pop culture, from movies. The other 2 are going to be from video games. And one nostalgia thing where your nostalgia has been used that actually works. So the first one, a lot of people, I'm going to use Disney as an example. Disney's Star Wars trilogy. That whole thing was Disney weaponizing your nostalgia. Okay, LucasArts under Disney weaponizing your nostalgia. From the first movie to the second movie to the third movie, every single aspect of that series was designed to basically use the goodwill, the good feelings, the nostalgia that people had about that franchise, and use it to make money. Now, here's the thing. They're a business. There's nothing wrong with a business using its assets to make money. The problem is that, and we have seen this through, later iterations and such, that, not iterations, but later interviews with J.J. Abrams, that there was no fucking plan beyond them just using the nostalgia that people had for Star Wars. Like, they didn't have a fucking plan. They didn't have any fucking they didn't have a fucking plan beyond using your nostalgia and getting money. Like, step 1, buy IP, step 2, get money. It's like, well, there's some steps missing in this. So the point behind this is to simply say this, and we can all see that those 3 films did not do what they were supposed to. Now, I'm 35 years old. I was not alive to enjoy the original Star Wars Renaissance. My entire relation with Star Wars before the new trilogy came out was me watching Star Wars when it came to video, and the merchandising of Star Wars. So Star Wars video games, Star Wars toy sets, Star Wars Lego things, Star Wars model sets, stuff like that. That's what made me get into Star Wars. So, basically, Disney Star Wars failed on multiple fronts because people weren't really buying the merchandising. People, I guarantee you, I've heard from numerous sources that there are warehouses full of unsold new Disney trilogy merchandise that no one wants. That no one's buying. Like, no one gives a shit about that. You know, and that's the thing. People spend money on this shit because they wanna, you know, they wanna get paid. You know, they're trying to, you know, these companies are trying to, you know, these companies want to make money, and I understand that. But, you know, it's not enough. Like, it's not enough for you to just basically have an old IP. There has to be a method behind it. There has to be a reason. There has to be something going on. It's not, oh, we sold an IP. Well, what are you getting out of it? I don't know. That's, you know, that's how things are today. No one actually has a plan. They just, we bought the IP. We're going to use it to make money. How? I don't know. People like it. Which leads to the second aspect of things, which is, you know, the second example, which is a video game example. You know, Bethesda bought Fallout. Now, Fallout was kind of a niche franchise. Not everyone was really into Fallout. You know, I kind of was always into Fallout, but not everyone was into it. And Bethesda bought Fallout from the defunct Virgil Interactive, and they made Fallout 3. And I stand by this statement. Fallout 3 is a fucking terrible game. Terrible. Steaming pile of dog shit is what Fallout 3 is. And Fallout 4, which is an okay first/third person shooter, fucking terrible RPG. And of course, you know, you can see the line of diminishing returns, because people who are fans of Fallout 3 say it's great, and then the people who are fans of Fallout 3 play Fallout 4 and they're like, it's a good shooter but not a great RPG. And then there's Fallout 76, which we all saw the debacle that was. And this all started with nostalgia for an old IP that the people who owned the IP, who bought it, didn't know what the fuck they were doing with the IP. They didn't have a clue. Which leads to the third example where nostalgia actually worked. Nostalgia actually fucking worked. So my third example of nostalgia actually working the way it was intended is with something like Streets of Rage 4. Streets of Rage 4 is very much a trip down memory lane in terms of, you know, oh man, I have nostalgia for this. But Streets of Rage 4, aside from some technical issues in gameplay design, which they have since fixed, fairly well made game, because the people who made the game understood that people were nostalgic about that IP, but they also had to do something new. Okay? They couldn't just rest easy on their laurels and saying, hey, this was popular, so we don't have to do shit. Just put it out there. I'll get to the conclusion of this after the cut. So, here's where things get kind of interesting. Your nostalgia gets weaponized all the time by various companies. They love using your nostalgia. You know, Netflix currently has an entire business model around weaponizing your nostalgia. Stranger Things, the only reason Stranger Things exists is to weaponize your nostalgia. J.J. Abrams built an entire career weaponizing people's nostalgia. And while I have nothing personally against people weaponizing nostalgia, you know, when it's done well, you can do some amazing things with it. You get things like Streets of Rage 4 in video gaming, stuff like a new Advance Wars, stuff like that. If you go on Steam, you can find a myriad of Fire Emblem-like games, because Nintendo doesn't really make hardcore old school style Fire Emblem anymore. It's become a little bit too over casualized. So, your nostalgia being weaponized. When I say it's being weaponized, I don't mean that in a pejorative way, like, oh, it's being used, nefarious. It's being used to sell you a product. And when it's done well, it works. But when it sucks, it doesn't. So with that being said, my conclusion will come after the cut. So, here's where my conclusion comes in. I think that a lot of people need to understand that, be aware that these companies are trying to sell you a product. They don't personally give a fuck about you personally. They want your money. Okay? And if a company thinks that they can if a company basically thinks that they can use your nostalgia against you and just pay lip service to your nostalgia and give you a shitty product with just a gloss of your nostalgia over it, and you'll buy it anyway, they're happy with that. If they can, if they can make a love letter to your nostalgia and you really enjoy it, that's okay, but what they really want is to do the bare minimum. So, with that being said, this video will be going up sometime later on Saturday. Tell me your thoughts. Were there times that you felt like someone sold you like you bought a product, or you were sold a product based on a nostalgic experience, and when you got it, you realized this kind of sucks, or vice versa, you were pleasantly surprised that they stayed true to the original source material. With that being said, that's the end of this video. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. This Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be doing a BS Buster cast, and we have some good topics coming up this week. We will definitely be giving our takes on Activision's, I can't even call it a kerfuffle, scandal, plague-ridden scandal that they have coming up. So we'll talk about that. We'll go over it and go over all that type of stuff. Also other bits of news. This Saturday's podcast is going to be a little bit different because I'm not covering up with the topics or anything. Tonight's cast is being run by the other two panel members. So it's a surprise what else we'll cover beyond that. So with that being said, that's the end of this video. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Give me your thoughts. Tell me, has your nostalgia been weaponized? Are there any purchases that you made or money that you've expended based on a nostalgia and it turned out to be some bullshit, or vice versa? So let me know in the comments section. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Peace and have a good day.